All right. So are you ready to dive deep? Because we are tackling Elon Musk.
Oh, yeah.
Not just like the headlines we see every day,
Right,
but like
yeah.
what makes the guy tick. We've got excerpts from Isaacson's biography,
Okay.
and we're going to try to unearth like what makes Musk Musk.
I love it. Let's do it.
Okay, so what stood out to you most about this biography?
You know, it's interesting. I think what's so captivating about it is the way it, like, intertwines his personal life
Okay.
with this, like, relentless ambition that he has.
Right.
And you really need to understand, I think, that personal side to really kind of grasp this drive and this, honestly, sometimes chaotic
Yeah.
management style.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning, right? Childhood in South Africa, Lord of the Flies survival camp.
Oh, yeah.
At 12 years old. I mean, that's not your average summer camp. That's
Right.
intense.
No, it's not. It's almost like, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Yeah.
But like literally,
Right.
Isaacson kind of suggests that experience like instilled this lifelong sense of resilience. In Musk, he learned to operate in these environments where like competition was fierce, resources were scarce.
He's true.
It's almost like this tiny little microcosm of like all of his later ventures, right?
Right.
Like SpaceX, Tesla.
Totally. Like, it makes you wonder if it, like, planted a seed.
Oh, yeah.
Just being comfortable with risk.
Absolutely.
Speaking of risk, his father, Errol, like, getting paid in emeralds, that's a little out there.
It is a bit out there.
Yeah.
Elon Musk is a complex figure.
For sure.
Much like his son,
Okay.
an engineer involved in politics.
Yeah.
But he definitely had this taste for risk-taking
Yeah.
and pushing boundaries.
Yeah.
And that Emerald Mine story, like, just exemplifies this audacity, almost a disregard for conventional paths.
Definitely a, like, father, like, son vibe there.
Totally.
But I feel like the biography goes, like, a layer deeper.
Absolutely.
Right. It's not just these surface level similarities.
No, not at all. It actually draws some really interesting parallels
Oh.
between their personalities. And it's fascinating because even Elon's ex-wife, Justine, she observed how his behavior sometimes mirrored what he would tell her
Huh.
about Errol, like these horrible stories, as she kind of put it.
Wow.
And it makes you wonder, right? Like, to what extent are we shaped by how we grow up?
Right.
Even when those influences are things that maybe we don't want to be.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a good reminder that there's always, like, more beneath the surface.
Always.
Right.
Always more.
Okay, so before we get too far, I do want to touch on, like, Elon's love for computers,
Of course.
strategy games,
Right.
science fiction, like building a roulette prediction program. I mean,
Yeah.
that sounds like a tech mogul in the making, even back then.
Absolutely. He was exhibiting that classic drive
Yeah.
to like decode systems,
Right.
to like find the patterns and exploit them to his advantage. And it's interesting because even his love for Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy played a role,
Really?
It helped him through like a tough time. And it also kind of instilled in him, I think, this like very whimsical sense of humor that we see
Yeah,
sometimes.
it peeks out
It does, right.
through this, like, otherwise very serious
Like,
exterior.
Serious stoic.
Okay, so I'm seeing these, like, threads, right? The entrepreneurship,
Yeah.
the problem solving, the dark humor,
Totally.
all coming from those early days.
It all connects.
All right, so let's fast forward a little bit.
No.
The move to North America. And we see his journey as an entrepreneur kind of begin. So did these early ventures, did they hint at what was to come?
Yeah, I think this period is marked by both struggles
Okay.
and those like aha moments,
Right.
that kind of like define a career.
Yeah.
And so he moved to Canada. He faced, financial hardship,
Right, he's bringing.
college at Queen's,
Yeah.
Penn.
Yeah.
These are all just stepping stones, it seems, to his true calling.
Right, not exactly a straight shot to success.
No.
But I bet those challenges, like, they really did shape him.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, take Zip2, for example.
Okay.
Creating the first online city guide. That was revolutionary.
Yeah, that's huge.
I mean, can you imagine seeing a map on the internet for the first time?
I mean, it seems so obvious now, but back then.
It seems so obvious, but it's like, whoa, this is groundbreaking.
Totally.
And, and what's more is it really highlights that early desire
Okay.
to reach customers, consumers, directly,
Interesting.
which actually foreshadows his approach with Tesla and SpaceX.
Cut out the middleman, control the whole process.
Exactly. Control the whole thing.
It's like this desire for control. We see it again and again with him.
You're totally right. And that desire sometimes led to friction,
Oh, yeah.
most notably with PayPal,
Right.
where he clashed with co-founder Max Levchin.
Right.
And the biography really dives into their very different styles.
Okay.
Levchin, much more collaborative coder.
Yeah.
Musk, much more top-down, grand vision kind of guy.
Oh, for sure.
And remember that whole Windows versus Unix debate?
Wait, Musk was Team Windows.
I know, right?
I always pictured him as a Unix guy.
I know, it seems counterintuitive, right?
Totally.
But he really admired Bill Gates at the time.
Wow.
And he valued what he perceived as the reliability of Windows NT for PayPal's system.
The more you know.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So you see how that difference of opinion with Levchin just really underscores their totally different approaches.
Yeah, totally different approaches.
To tech and leadership.
Not even just about the tech itself.
Exactly.
It's about, like, the philosophy behind it.
It is. It's deeper than that.
Right, okay.
It is.
Which makes this anecdote about him surprising Levchin with his Oracle database knowledge so interesting.
I love that story.
Like, he can back it up.
He's not all talk.
Yeah.
It really showcases that, like, he's a bold visionary, but he's also a detail-oriented engineer.
It's true, like, both of those things can exist at the same time.
He contains multitudes.
Okay, so the plot thickens. Let's shift gears to SpaceX.
Okay.
And Tesla.
Let's do it.
Because this is where I feel like his, like, grand vision for the future really starts to solidify.
It does.
Yeah.
It really starts to come into focus.
Colonizing Mars.
Yeah.
Revolutionizing the auto industry. These weren't just, like, side projects for him.
Literally.
This was, like, deeply, deeply intertwined with how he viewed humanity's future.
Absolutely, and it's fascinating how he connects those goals.
I know, right?
Like, they're all intertwined.
And I think it's also interesting because, and speaking of connections, the biography mentions that he had this near-death experience during this time with malaria.
Right.
And that really struck me because it's like, did that change his outlook at all?
Well, it's interesting. It's this very chilling reminder of his own mortality.
Yeah.
But true to form, like, he still kind of keeps that dark humor.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he makes a joke about the insurance policy that they took out on him. And it's like this almost detached response to this brush with death.
Oh, wow.
It really speaks volumes about how he thinks.
It's like he compartmentalizes, he processes things so differently than I think a lot of us do.
He's wired differently, for sure.
Okay, so his first wife, Justine, she offers some, like, really interesting insights into his personality.
She does. She does.
Right.
She has a very unique perspective.
Yeah, she does.
And it's invaluable to understanding him. She observed this certain lack of empathy.
Yeah.
That she recognized as both a gift and a burden.
It's true.
And it really makes you wonder, like, can you achieve that level of brilliance, that level of drive?
Yeah.
Without, like, sacrificing some aspects of, like, normal human connection.
Right. Like, what is that trade-off?
Exactly.
It's a question that follows him to this day.
It really does.
And it only intensifies, I feel like, when we get to 2008, those dual crises.
Oh, man, what a time.
Right. SpaceX is facing launch failures. Tesla is on the verge of bankruptcy. I mean, talk about a trial by fire.
Talk about pressure.
Yeah.
This is where we see his resilience.
Yeah.
That almost, like, ruthless determination.
Right.
It's on full display.
It's true.
You know that story about his brother Kimball investing his last dollars into Tesla?
Yeah. Incredible.
It's kind of like, what a testament to their bond and their belief in Elon.
Right. And it just shows you, like, how all in he was on these endeavors.
He's all in.
All in. I mean, he even compared it to having 2 kids, but not enough food.
Right.
Like, you find a way to feed them both no matter what you have to do.
Yeah.
But it's tough because it does beg the question, at what cost?
Exactly.
Like, at what cost to himself, at what cost to the people around him?
To everyone.
Yeah.
To everyone involved. It's a question that lingers throughout the entire story.
It really does.
You know, it makes you think about the human cost of disruption.
Yeah.
Of pushing boundaries in this way.
Right.
And as his companies grow,
Right.
so do the stakes.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, and the pressure just keeps building for
Right.
him and for the company.
It's true.
And, you know, those years, the second marriage to Tallulah Riley,
Right.
the very public relationship with Amber Heard.
Yeah.
Yeah. All of that is happening against this backdrop of massive expansion at his companies, but also this, like, internal turmoil.
It's easy to forget he's dealing with, like, a personal life.
Right. He's still a person.
At the same time that he's running these companies that are trying to, like, change the world.
Exactly.
It's a lot. So 2017, 2018, talk about descent into the dark, right?
Oh, yeah.
Model 3 production. Hell, the biography does not sugarcoat this era.
No, it doesn't. It shows, like, the darker side
Yeah.
of this relentless drive, you know? He's sleeping on the factory floor,
Right.
tearing apart robots with his own 2 hands.
Literally.
Because he thinks humans can install a fiberglass strip faster.
Faster than a robot can.
Faster, yeah.
It's crazy.
There's this, like, ruthlessness in this pursuit of efficiency.
It's that whole, like, Dilbert cartoon moment.
Totally.
Right? Where it's like he finds that useless part in the battery pack that was
Yeah.
just there because some committee somewhere.
It's a bureaucracy.
And he's like, why am I surrounded by this?
He can't stand it. He just, like, needs to be hands-on.
Yeah.
Even if it's, like, clashing with people who just don't share his sense of urgency.
Right.
But it came at a cost.
It did.
You know, several employees described feeling bullied, feeling completely broken
Yeah.
by these demands that he was making.
It's that other side of the coin, right? It's like,
Literally.
how much can you achieve? How audacious can these goals be without pushing people too far?
Exactly.
Can you sustain that level of intensity without some casualties?
That's the question, and it's something that follows him.
Right, yeah.
And then, just as things seem to be, you know, getting back on track with Tesla, with SpaceX,
Yeah.
then you get to the Twitter takeover.
Right. Whoa, new territory.
It's like a whole other level.
It's like climbing Mount Everest, getting halfway down, and then being like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to run a marathon backwards, blindfolded.
Like, why? Why now?
It's crazy.
What was he thinking?
I think this is where his long-held views on free speech.
And his kind of growing distrust of big tech really collide.
Okay.
He talks about having this, like, red pill moment.
Oh, yeah, he loves that phrase.
Right. He saw Twitter as this digital town square
Yeah.
that was, like, veering off course.
Had lost its way, yeah.
It was lost, and he was going to fix it.
So less about, like, making money
I think so, yeah.
and more about, like, he wanted to shape the conversation.
He wanted to take control.
But the way he went about it, the initial investment, the poison pill, the 11th hour firings,
It was wild.
it was like a masterclass in hostile takeovers.
I know, it's almost like he needs that
Yeah.
level of risk, that disruption.
Yeah.
Like, he thrives on it.
It's true. But even for Elon,
Right.
this was like a whole new beast.
Completely
Running
new.
a social media platform.
Yeah.
It's not building rockets. It's not building cars.
You can't approach it the same way.
And the early days, I mean, complete turmoil.
Oh, absolutely. Mass layoffs, changing policies on a whim.
Right?
It was like he was trying to run Twitter,
Right. Yeah.
like his other companies, and it just wasn't working.
Didn't translate.
It didn't.
So he brings in the musketeer.
Yeah, trusted inner circle.
Right.
From Tesla, from SpaceX.
Which, on the one hand, shows you how loyal he is to these people.
Totally.
But it also shows you that he relies on this very, like, small, very devoted group.
Yeah, and I think it just highlights the limitations
Right.
of that approach when it comes to something like Twitter.
Yeah, this isn't just like an engineering challenge.
This is different. It's about people.
This is like, how do you navigate all of these social dynamics, user expectations, advertiser, I mean, so much.
All of it. And let's not forget the political firestorm.
Oh, right. How could we?
Like, he poked the bear.
He did.
Public enemy number one for some, free speech warrior for others.
Yeah, it's true.
And his tweets, so impulsive,
Right.
so provocative, they just fanned the flames.
They did. They did.
I mean, it's that duality again, right?
Right.
He wants control. But his communication style, it can be so unpredictable, almost reckless.
He can be, yeah, for sure.
It makes you question his judgment.
Yeah.
Like, does he really get the nuances
Yeah.
of a platform like this?
Right, because it's not just about the code.
No.
It's not just about the
Think
algorithm.
about how people use it.
It's about the people, for good or for bad.
For good or for bad, exactly.
It's about drawing lines in very, very gray areas.
And those lines are constantly moving.
They are, yeah.
And it's interesting because I think his approach is less about finding the perfect solution.
Okay.
It's more about shaking things up,
Right.
forcing everyone to reevaluate.
How they reset. Yeah.
Like, what are we even doing here? How should we be thinking about online discourse?
Right. And whether you agree with him or not,
Right.
you can't deny the man knows how to make an entrance.
Oh, he does.
Speaking of entrances, in the middle of all this Twitter drama,
What now?
he welcomes twins
You're kidding.
with Siobhan Zillis from Neuralink.
No way. It's like, it's incredible. It's this juxtaposition.
Right, you've got public Elon
Fighting on Twitter.
spelling it out on Twitter.
While privately,
Yeah.
he's navigating fatherhood again
Right.
with an executive from his own company.
From his neurotechnology company.
It's crazy.
It just adds to the enigma of this guy.
It really does.
It's a good reminder we're talking about a very, very complex person here.
100%.
Not just like a caricature that we see in the headline.
He's more than that.
Okay, and speaking of complex, in the background of all of this,
Always something.
right, SpaceX is hitting these milestones left and right.
It's true.
They're sending civilian astronauts into orbit. They're developing Starship.
It's insane.
It's like he's playing a whole different game than everyone else who's just like stuck on the Twitter saga.
Totally. And Starship, I mean, if you talk about ambition,
Yeah.
that's it right there.
Right.
He's not messing around.
This isn't just about like small steps forward. This is about like revolutionizing space travel.
Making us a multiplanetary species.
And he's dead serious about it.
Completely serious.
Massive reusable spacecraft.
A colony on Mars. It sounds crazy.
Right. But he means it.
But he does.
It's that same drive that we saw from him early on
It all connects.
to solve problems at a massive scale.
100%.
And the biography talked about how fascinated he is by all the details of Starship.
Really?
Oh, yeah, and how hands-on he is, even with designing the factory.
Wow.
He gets into the nitty-gritty, even with a project of this magnitude.
It's amazing. And it's vertical integration all over again.
Right.
He wants to control everything,
It's true.
from the raw materials to the launch.
Total control, yeah.
And he's not afraid to go against, the grain.
Yeah.
He used stainless steel for Starship.
Oh, right, which everyone said was impossible.
Everyone.
Yeah.
But he was like, nope, this is the solution. We're doing it my way.
He's got this relentless pursuit
He does.
of what he thinks is the best solution.
It's his way or the highway.
Even if it means, like, defying all conventions.
Right. Which can lead to breakthroughs.
Which it does sometimes.
But it can also lead to, well,
Explosions.
explosions.
That Starship test flight,
Oh my gosh, yes?
2023.
I remember.
The biography describes him standing amidst the wreckage.
Oh.
But it sounds like he wasn't defeated.
Really?
It's like he was more determined than ever.
Wow.
It was just like another data point for him.
Like he expected it almost.
Almost, yeah. Like, okay, we learned something, now let's move on.
It's all part of the plan?
He has this unwavering belief in this vision.
He does. And it's not just with SpaceX.
Okay.
It extends to Tesla, too.
Right, so as SpaceX is reading for the stars,
Literally.
Tesla's dealing with much more, like, terrestrial problems.
ground.
Right, like self-driving technology.
Which has been a whole thing.
That's where I think his, like, bold claims
Yeah.
and the reality of engineering really collide.
The clap.
Because he's like, full self-driving is right around the corner.
Any day now.
Any day now. He's been saying that for years.
I know.
And yet accidents still happen.
They go.
There's still all this regulatory scrutiny.
Right, of course.
There are real limitations to AI.
Yeah, we're not quite there yet.
Not quite there yet. And the biography goes into this decision that he made
What's that?
to get rid of the radar sensors
Oh, yeah.
on Tesla.
And just go with the cameras.
And just use the cameras. Bold. Bold. And even some Tesla engineers were like, I don't know about this.
Rightfully so.
Right.
Big gamble.
Big gamble, yeah.
It was all a bet on the power of AI
Right.
to learn from all this visual data.
Interesting.
He thinks humans were the problem.
We're the bottleneck.
Our senses are flawed. We can't be trusted.
Right. But the cameras can.
The cameras process through these algorithms. That's the key to autonomy.
It's a fascinating argument.
It is.
But it also, like, really raises the stakes.
Oh, for sure.
Because if he's right, it changes everything. It revolutionizes transportation.
Everything we thought we knew.
But if he's wrong,
Oh, boy.
the consequences are a lot bigger than just, like, a delayed product launch.
Yeah, people could get hurt.
Right.
This is serious stuff.
This is life or death stuff.
Life and death.
And this is kind of a recurring theme with him.
What's that?
High risk, but the potential rewards, if he's right, are enormous.
World-changing.
World-changing, and it is both exhilarating and terrifying,
Totally.
all at the same time.
At the same time.
We haven't even talked about Neuralink.
Oh my gosh, right.
We haven't even touched on Optimus, his vision for the future of humanity.
It's almost like we need like another deep dive.
Yeah, we do.
Just to get through all of it.
Yeah.
It's like he's playing on a different timeline than the rest of us.
Seriously.
While we're all still trying to wrap our heads around like electric cars and reusable rockets.
Right.
He's already thinking about brain-computer interfaces and like colonizing Mars.
It's a lot to take in.
It's a lot.
Okay, so Neuralink, let's unpack this a little bit.
Yeah.
Brain implants, like what are we talking about here?
So it's like something straight out of science fiction.
Right.
But it's all rooted in like real neuroscience, cutting edge stuff.
Okay.
And the immediate goal is to develop this brain-computer interface that can help people with, paralysis,
Okay.
blindness, other neurological conditions.
Right, right.
Imagine being able to bypass, like, damaged nerves.
Yeah.
Allow people to control their bodies again, to see again.
Okay, so that alone is like a huge deal.
Huge.
But the biography hints at something even more, I don't know, radical.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Musk's long-term vision for this is what he calls superhuman cognition.
Oh boy, here we go.
He believes that these implants could eventually enhance what humans are capable of.
Okay.
Like we could communicate telepathically,
Whoa.
download information directly to our brains.
It's like in the Matrix.
Basically, even merge with AI.
Okay, now we're getting into like some real sci-fi territory here.
What?
Is this really feasible though?
I mean, that's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, the potential is huge,
Sure.
but so are the risks.
Right, and the biography does mention that there's a lot of pushback, ethical concerns.
Oh, absolutely, and rightfully so, because you're talking about putting something into someone's brain.
Right.
The seat of consciousness, personality, what makes us human. So questions about safety, privacy, consent, all that, it's huge.
Yeah, it's like, are we opening Pandora's box here?
It really feels that way.
But it does seem like this is what Musk thrives on.
What do you mean?
These, like, impossible challenges, the bigger the better.
Oh, totally. I mean, he said it himself, that he sees this as essential.
Essential, not optional.
Not optional, he thinks. Humans, we have to keep up.
With AI.
With AI. We have to merge with it, or we're going to be left behind.
So it's that same urgency that we see with SpaceX.
It is. It's existential.
Right, but like a whole other scale, because it's not just about like saving ourselves from a dying planet.
Right.
It's about like transcending our limits as a species.
It's deep, man.
It's deep.
It's almost philosophical.
It is. It's a philosophy.
More than just technology.
More than technology.
Okay, and this leads us to
What? There's more?
Optimus.
Optimus.
The humanoid robot.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot we were doing this too.
Because why not?
Right, why not? Okay, so this is not just like a factory robot.
No, he wants more.
This is like, he's aiming for something a lot more human-like.
The goal is to create this general-purpose robot.
Okay.
One that can do all kinds of things, like manufacturing,
Okay.
construction, even chores around the house.
We're not...
Musk thinks robots like this, they could replace human labor in a lot of ways.
Okay.
Make the economy more efficient, more productive.
Right, but what about all the jobs?
What about the jobs? Yeah.
What about, the potential for misuse?
I know. We're talking about some serious ethical dilemmas here.
We are.
For sure.
Yeah.
But Musk, his argument is that these robots, they'll free us
From what?
from all the dangerous stuff.
Oh, okay.
Boring, repetitive jobs.
Right, so that we can focus on more like
Creative things. Fulfilling things, the stuff that humans are really meant to do.
He's even suggested like a universal basic income
Yeah.
that robots would pay for.
Yeah, basically.
Which, okay, it's a nice idea.
I mean, it's utopian.
Yeah, utopian, but it relies on so many like what ifs.
What ifs?
What if the technology doesn't actually work?
Right.
What if, it just makes everything worse instead of better?
What if it makes the inequalities worse?
Right. And it's that question again.
What question?
The ends justify the means. Can you do all of this, even if some people get hurt along the way?
Can you? It's a question for the ages.
It is. It really is. So where does this leave us? How will history judge Elon Musk?
I don't know. That's a tough one.
Is he this visionary?
Who saved us all?
Or is he, reckless?
Out of control, unleashing things that he can't control.
Right. We don't know yet.
It's too early to say.
He's still writing his story, but I will say,
Yeah.
this deep dive, it's been illuminating.
In what way?
It's given me, I think, a new appreciation for just how complicated this guy is.
He's not easy to pin down, is he?
No, he's not. He really isn't.
He's this mix of brilliance and audacity, idealism, but also pragmatism.
Yeah,
He challenges everything we think we know,
it's true.
makes us confront the tough questions about technology and what it means to be human.
And one thing's for sure,
What's that?
you cannot ignore him.
No, you can't.
Love him or hate him, he's leaving his mark.
He embodies the contradictions of our time, this potential for incredible things,
Yeah,
but also catastrophic mistakes. It's right there.
it's all right there.
It's a reminder that the future's not set in stone.
We still have a choice.
It's shaped by the choices that we make every single day,
The risks that we take.
the questions we dare to ask.
If this is what you learned from just one biography, imagine what else is out there.
Right.
Keep exploring, keep questioning, and maybe, just maybe,
Yeah,
dare to dream a little bigger.
I love that.
Thank you for joining me on this incredible, incredible deep dive.
This was so fun. Thank you.